This is part 4 in the Homestyler instructional videos. This last part is when you are completely done with the design, how to do the rendering. So I'm going to just really quickly go over adjusting some of the settings and then some of the different angles of rendering. So you have normal versus top view versus aerial. So I'll explain that and then show you how to download the renderings. So renderings basically bring your design to life. So on the example projects that you've seen in class, those are renderings. So it takes your design and just makes it a lot more lifelike, less cartoony. So what you're going to want to do, I have my design completed. Obviously, make sure you check the assignment page, make sure you've got everything included. I would recommend going in 3D view and just really zooming around, getting up close just to make sure, like pillows aren't floating in the air or things aren't hanging off of some of your furniture, that sort of thing. So just take the time to just kind of go through, fine tune everything, make sure it all looks good, make adjustments if you need to, like maybe I want to change this pillow, make sure everything is kind of where it needs to be and that you've got everything included. Then what you're going to do, this looks good, I'm ready to render. You're going to come up here to the camera button and click that. That is render. So then it opens up this screen here. It looks like a lot. And to be honest, I don't know what some of the stuff is, but I'm going to show you what I do know. And then you can, of course, play around with it as well. So right up at the top are the different options, the different views. So you're going to do quite a few of them in normal view. So this is not what it looks like. We need to adjust our settings and actually clip or take a rendering so you can see what it looks like. So when you come over here, you can adjust this aspect ratio. So when I click on these, you can see the shape of the frame changing. So you can do different shapes and sizes based off of how you want it to look. The default is going to be this first one, but I have used this 4-3 one, especially like in the dining room. That's more of a square shape. And then what you're going to do down here, you can choose the daylight that it's giving you. So if you want it to be kind of more moody, maybe go with nighttime. So think of it like a filter almost, and how that's going to apply. You'll probably have to do a couple test ones, see what they look like, and then decide from there. But whichever you choose, you're going to want to use the same one for all the renderings that you use for your project. So there are some more options. It says they're going away, so I don't know if those will still be there, but I usually recommend this first one, Daylight 4, or if you want a nighttime, that one's good too. Then you want to choose the environment. So basically what is going to be outside the window. So you can see I have Metropolis selected, and that's what you see outside the windows and doors. So that's entirely up to you. You can see the options. There's night options. And those are the only two things you want to pick: lighting and environment. And then you can switch up what ratio you use for the different renderings. So what you're going to do is move your camera around and just basically take snapshots in different spots in the room. So you want to get all different angles. So, okay, this looks good. So I want a rendering of this space. So then all you do is you click the blue button right here, and then it takes a little rendering. And then you can just hit continue. Then go to another spot in the space and take another snapshot. So maybe I want this view. Okay, maybe I want the aspect ratio to be a little bit bigger so I can get kind of the whole room. And then click the blue button. And then maybe I want to put the camera over here and get this view here. And maybe I want a different ratio. Again, you don't have to adjust these. That's up to you. And then click there. So basically take a bunch, all different angles. I would definitely recommend the different corners of the rooms. Put yourself all throughout the room so every angle is covered in your space. Okay. Panorama If you do this one, you can't download it to upload it into your portfolio or into Canvas or anything. So avoid this one, the panorama. Aerial view is going to, mine is not really taking me out of the space, but it's going to come more from the top. So you can move the camera. If you want just an aerial view of the dining room, for example, you can kind of just do that and then snap the rendering. Maybe you want an aerial view of more of the living space, so you can kind of adjust that and snap that. Top view is just going to be just the top view. So you can take directly from the top and then click it. If you want maybe just the dining or just the living space, you can switch up the aspect ratio. Maybe I want it to be, okay, just the living room, and click that. And then maybe I want just the dining room. Switch up my shape here and then click that. So those would be, look at the requirements for the assignment. You want a mix of lots of normal but you do want to include some aerial and top views. So then when you're done with the rendering, it's in a couple different places. They are actually working on them here, but you can hit complete rendering. And what that did is it made them into pictures. So it's going to be under images. So you can click there. And here you can see all of the different images that it's created. So when you click view details, they open bigger. So there you can see it's so much more lifelike. You can click through them. You can see the different angles that I got. You might see some maybe mistakes show up a little bit better. Maybe you take a rendering and you're like, oh, I really do not like the color of that flooring. Then you can switch that out. So I would do a couple renderings to test it out, see if you like the lighting and everything looks good, and then do the rest. So these look great. I've got all my angles represented. So then when you go back, in order to download, you're going to have to, right here, it says download render. So this little arrow, you can click download render. And then of course yours will go to your drive. I would label it so that it can stay organized, but that's it. So if you don't end up downloading all these, it's not a big deal. Maybe you don't like this view or this angle, then you don't have to download that one. You can delete it or just leave it there. And then when you click to aerial, so here's my aerial shots that I got. Okay, I really like this one. It's a good view of the aerial of the dining room. So you can see, oh, I probably should have centered that bowl. That doesn't look so good. So, but you can download your aerials, and then here's my top view, my different options for top view. I've got more of just the dining room, and then living room, and then the whole space. So use the requirement or check the requirements, and then download whatever you want. If you need to go back in, you just go back into render and take some more renderings and then download them from there, adding them to the assignment requirements. So that should be it. And that is the last video. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed learning about the program, and I can't wait to see your designs.